All right, have and have not fans, here's another exciting theory video about a character that we all know and have only seen in about 2 episodes at this point, Erica. Now, before going any further into this video, I just want to let you know that if this theory turns out to be correct, the credit has to go to my mom on this one, because you may have been following my blog, Twitter, and Facebook for what I've been doing about 3 years at this point, and I just want to let you know that most of, if not every theory that I post or write about is a joint effort between myself and my mother going back and forth with ideas, almost like Candace and Erica going back and forth for last week's episode, trying to connect the dots about who marked Candace and how she got the money taken away from her. So with that being said, again, this theory just blew my mind. My mom, again, she deserves the credit. I went home Sunday for church. We got to talking about the haves and the have-nots, talking about last week's episode. And my mom said this theory, blew my mind. So here it goes. The theory is, what if Candace is only using Erica as a stand-in to be killed by Warlock instead of her? Or she's just using Erica as somewhat of a pawn in order to get a Warlock put in jail? Marinate on that thought and let's get into it piece by piece. Now, don't you find it a bit strange that Candace, for the first, at least from my perspective, if you start back at season 1 to the present, I believe it's season 4 now, when has she really called in for reinforcements? You got to think about that. She's used Amanda as a pawn to get money. It's debatable if she's used Jeffrey. He is almost like a male Amanda, if you will, in terms of being easily manipulated. Somewhat, but at the same time, the only time I really recall Candace looking for help was after the Malones had abducted her and Jim had everything moved out of her apartment, and she literally was at rock bottom. She got Warlock's help to, kidnap Jim, extort money from him. But of course, we learned that she was using Warlock as nothing but a pawn, and that's why her life is on the line right now. Now, Erica was pretty much just a stand-in to give Benny the car to give to Hannah. And now, all of a sudden, she's inviting Erica over to her house to discuss, what's going on. It doesn't seem like Candace really calls in reinforcements until she's really hit rock bottom, because she seems to be more like a free agent, if you will, doing her own thing, making her own money. And then the fact that, her life is on the line, not to mention she doesn't even have a dime to rub together at this point, 2 nickels to rub at this point. Erica is the only person she could turn to. And Erica, she's almost like a female flunky, if not partner of Candace, in terms of how they team up to, scam people. But don't you think it's a bit of a coincidence that they really do share a lot of physical features, that they almost look like they could be sisters? Now, when my mom talked about the theory, she was thinking, hey, Candace only has maybe 6 days at this point to live, or at least get the money in order to pay Warlock. So we're talking $1.5 million. You got to think about it. Candace told Erica about her being marked. She didn't tell her exactly how much money. Not to mention, she didn't even bring up the fact that Warlock is after her. Something doesn't ring right, because again, she was telling Warlock that, hey, if Benny sues Wyatt for the money because of the hit and run charges, he'll have millions, so she'll be easy to, get the money to pay him back. But Warlock even, claims like, hey, there's no way you can get that money in the time that allowed you to live. Candace pretty much feels like she's out of options, which she is. Even if she beats up the poor social services lady, sorry about that tongue-tied, social services woman, Leah name, I believe it is, Aaliyah, she knows nothing. Literally, she told her last week that all she knew was that Catherine had a judge in favor of Hannah to get Quincy Jr. Candace is pretty much scraping the bottom of the barrel at this point. I feel like you're probably wondering, okay, what does that have to do with Erica taking the fall? Now, look at it this way. Warlock knows that, hey, if you run away before you give me that money or I kill you, I'm going to kill Benny instead. I feel like in some shape or form, Erica's going to be like a decoy. You know how how the president, as well as, some famous people have, what do they call it, like stuntmen or doppelgangers, or people who go out into public places before them in order to avoid the real person getting shot. I feel like there's going to be some kind of scenario where Candace is going to use Erica to take the fall for her, and then Warlock will think she's dead, and either Warlock will go away or Candace is going to set it up so Warlock goes to jail for murder. Almost how Benny was trying to set up Quincy with the drugs and the accident to make him go to jail for a long time. I feel like Candace is going to do something to get rid of Warlock, because she, even though she says she loves Benny and loves her son, she really doesn't care about anybody else but herself. She uses nobody for anything except for pawns, because Jeffrey had it pegged to a T at the beginning of season 2, where he said that, you know, you really don't care about anybody, you don't love anybody, maybe your brother and that's it, but everybody else is a pawn to you. And if somebody pisses you off, you know what, all hell's going to break loose. You won't stop until they've paid you back in full, whether it's like suffering, death, or whatever the case may be. And Candace said that, you know, she doesn't fear anything, which Jeffrey replied by saying a really deep line, saying, if you don't fear anything, that means you don't love anything either. That's a scary way to live. So, you know, that she's just using Benny because, again, she's only using Benny in terms of, hey, you know, you can get in real big trouble for, you know, hiding Quincy's like we both could. And then she uses Benny to, you know, let's say he does sue Wyatt for the money, for the million. She's only doing that to pay off Warlock. She's using Jeffrey as a pawn, trying to make him feel guilty about the stabbing with Quincy when it was really self-defense. And the list just goes on. Everybody that Candace has come in contact with has been nothing more than a pawn for some greater goal of her own. So again, I really feel that her calling in Erica as a reinforcement goes along with Erica being used without her knowing that she's being used. Again, it just feels weird that she's calling her in at a time like this. I mean, again, it's just one of those theories that you might think is far-fetched. I feel like, you know, maybe within the next couple episodes when we see more Erica, this theory might have more evidence and weight. And if it does, I'll just redo this video. But for now, I just want to get your thoughts in the comment section below. Do you feel like Erica is going to be a pawn in one of Candace's bigger schemes? Because, again, if she treats her own brother and Jeffrey, who saved her life twice, remember that he got beat up by Quincy for not telling him where Candace was. And then he literally killed Quincy, or stabbed him nearly to death to save Candace's life. If she is using him as nothing but a pawn, you can pretty much tell that Erica is nothing more than a pawn in her sick game. So again, subscribe to the channel and share this video with other have and have not fans, because this is one of those theories that I really want to get your thoughts on. So again, do you think Erica is a pawn for a bigger game, or do you think that Candace is actually treating her as an equal in this scenario? Because if she is, I will find that really hard to believe. So again, please share this video with your friends, and I will see you all in the next episode.